What's up, guys? It's Ali and DeVante and Nick, and we are here with a steaming hot episode of the Tea Drop. There's so much to talk about. There's actually a lot that went down this weekend, and we're gonna jump right into it with some royal tea because, as DeVante wrote in the script today, it was not just spilled; it was dumped last night, all over the place with the really telling, wild interview with Oprah that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry did. And I watched it. I'm not sure if Nick and DeVante watched it. Oh, Nick has a freaking frown on his teacup this morning. Maybe you did watch it.
Ali, I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts about what did you think about the full interview? What did you like? What did you not like? What were key moments that maybe people are not really talking about? So teeing it up to you.
This interview was a masterclass in journalism. Oprah as an interviewer, and I don't know if I have ever, because her show, she used to have obviously a show for all you millennials and Gen Zers out there who never got to watch it. She used to have a 4:00 show, and it was the Oprah Winfrey show, and she would do interviews like this all the time. It essentially just allows celebrities to tell their stories, but it's her provocative questioning that allows them to be so open. And you saw it in the flesh last night, just her reactions and her ability to follow up. And she would, they'd go down a different route and she'd be like, but I want to go back because, and she didn't let them off the hook. That was the thing. And that's what I love about her. And that's why I believe everything that was said here, because Oprah did her due diligence. That's what I'm kind of relying on as a journalist. And she said, well, the people say this, and this was said about you. So what, where's the truth? And why would that have been done? And why would that have been said? And so, first of all, if you want to be a journalist, go rewatch that interview and just take notes on Oprah. Then, I definitely think Meghan dropped some bombshells for sure. I mean, I was very surprised how strong and she wasn't in tears when she said that she contemplated. I mean, she had tears in her eyes, but she, to say that you were contemplating suicide is a very, very heartbreaking and sad. And when you look back at the photos, how she says she was literally, her and Harry were white knuckled because she couldn't be left alone. He said, you shouldn't come to this event tonight. And she was like, no, I can't be left alone. And, he's supporting her. And the moment that so there was a whole moment with Meghan where it was the first hour. When Harry came out and sat with them was when I really think that the interview took a turn because, I think that if you're not a fan of Meghan Markle, you could have sat and watched that first hour and been like, all right, there's two sides to every story. I'm sure she's bluffing here, there, whatever. When Harry came out, and I felt like it was almost the nail in the coffin. It was no, this is my family. My dad's not taking my calls, and I'm living off the money that my dead mother gave me 20 years ago when she died in a car accident, being chased by paparazzi who ruined her life. And I think my mom knew what this institution could do to me, and it was just in case. They cut me off. They cut off our security. Tyler Perry had to provide security for my family in the United States.
It's just him. It's Alex Cross.
I mean, that is my response to it. So, sure, the people can say that Meghan is bluffing here or exaggerating here. You can't make that up that Harry came out and said about his dad and brother, who the three of them, and not just,
whoa!
Harry and William have experienced so much loss together and had such a bond. And for that bond to currently be in turmoil, it has to be bad. If you know anything about the royal family and if you know anything about DeVante, I'm curious as to what you think. Were you able to watch it?
No.
No, not really your thing.
Not really my thing.
He's more of a Kardashian lately.
I've had little peaks of interest here and there, especially when Megxit first happened. But to sit there and watch the whole thing, I'm more of a bullet points type of person when it comes to this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that when I made my boyfriend watch it with me because that's what you have to do if you're my boyfriend now. And he was watching and he was like, he does a lot of work actually in the UK. And he said she could have been an asset to them and they were welcoming to her until they saw how good she was. That became the problem, not because she was good and they were like, oh, you want someone to be good. It became a problem because she's mixed race. Mm-hmm. And at least he says that in the UK, there is a
race issue, racism.
There's a race issue. They want to keep essentially the monarchy, this purebred white establishment. And when Meghan goes and she's this open, heartwarming senior official, she's muddying the waters. And she's giving a space for other Black women and Black men and people of color to have space within this purebred white monarchy. And they're like, oh no, we can't have that here. Mm-hmm. And she could have been an asset. And that's what Harry said too. She could have been a movement for change where the monarchy was like, yes, we are changing this history. And they didn't. And I do believe that race had a lot to do with it because of this racial inequality that is still so haunting, obviously in the US, but especially in the UK.
The other thing is I'm kind of confused is like, you were talking about, oh yeah, now they have to do these shows and everything like this. Like, it's hard to kind of sympathize with that because
I agree.
Like, I get it, that's their lifestyle and that's what they lived in, but their whole thing is about security and like, they don't have to be in these like central, like, I don't know, like Hollywood hubs.
I agree. I also, I think that her family's there. And so that's probably why they went there. Like she has ties to Canada and she has ties to the US and they ended up going to the US because of all the lockdown stuff.
Right.
I just think for the people that really don't believe the media spin and just how awful it was, you should look at these comparisons of like headlines, because it'll be like a headline of Kate Middleton eating like avocado and like how the nutritious meal can help like change
interesting
and stuff. And then the next headline is Meghan eating avocado and it's like Meghan Markle's avocado is a danger to society.
Wow.
Kate Middleton like cradles her baby bump, shows protection of motherhood and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like Meghan Markle like bragging about her baby bump and blah, blah. There is a stark difference. And it's,
I get that. Yeah.
It would hurt.
That's crazy.
It's just, there were so many different facets of it. I found it very intriguing. I also think, and actually this morning, I thought about it before this morning, but when Oprah then went on CBS this morning with Gayle King, she said Harry wanted everybody to know that the Queen and Prince Philip were not the ones that said anything about Archie's skin color, and that the Queen has been given some bad advice. He would try to see her. He tries to make plans with her. She says yes. And then she's like, something is now on my calendar and it says I'm busy the next 2 weeks and I can't see you. She is not, it doesn't come from her.
Okay.
Which is really upsetting, but I'm happy that he put that out there because I never really thought that either. I think she learned her lesson with Diana, to be honest. I think that Charles, and I stick with that. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I can talk about it all day, honestly. And I just am hopeful that they will start their new life together and be happy and heal.
Yeah, healing, I feel like definitely very important part of all those.
Wasn't there a portion of the interview where Harry was talking to Oprah and Oprah kept pressing him about like, what is the issue? You leave, whatever. And like, they were talking about the toxicity of like their relationship with the media and how they have to like wine and dine and all that stuff. Do you remember that at all?
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on that? Because I have like some thoughts on that whole thing. That was like my favorite part of the interview that was kind of like missed under all the bigger headlines.
Yeah. The royal family isn't necessarily necessary. And so to keep them at the top, they need press support.
Right.
Like anything.
And he didn't want to say it outright. Because I feel like he was part of him was feeling guilty saying it. He was just like,
he probably used it too.
Exactly.
Of course. Like,
and Oprah was pressing him on that, and she was kind of just like, really, like, come on, just admit it.
And actually, it was funny because when we were doing that, my boyfriend was like, I wish she'd press more on that because she went to something else. But he essentially said that the family works with the press and places these stories. Harry was like, they have their holiday parties at Buckingham Palace. Like, that's all you have to know. And truly, that's when I was like, that's like an outlet having their holiday party at the White House or at Mar-a-Lago or, you know, at Joe Biden's mansion in Delaware. Like, that's what it would be like, which is highly inappropriate. And so that was a big thing because it also meant that they could have done something. They could have said something. They could have seen these headlines. They could have seen the headline of, you know, Kate, you know, Meghan was bullying Kate before the wedding, which Meghan says wasn't true, was actually opposite. And it could have been, you know, fixed and formatted.
Which I want to comment on that because just to give her, I don't know the full details. So I don't want to be like, I'm Team Kate. I will defend her in the sense that she's going through a wedding, right? So people are high pressured, and maybe didn't she say that she apologized afterwards?
Kate apologized.
Yeah, but I think even if she did apologize afterwards, she should have spoken out on the media headlines and been like, no, there's a misunderstanding.
Exactly. And Meghan said that. Meghan was like, and I don't know why nobody corrected the record when they knew it wasn't true, but they wouldn't let Meghan say anything either. So it was just this thing, this constant silencing. You can't say anything and we'll protect you and we'll handle it. And then nothing. And that was what kept happening, and it kept worsening and worsening and worsening. And Harry Harry would say something. And most of these conversations, it sounded like happened with Harry and his family and were relayed back to Meghan. She really wasn't allowed to get involved. It's heartbreaking. She compared herself to Ariel. She was watching The Little Mermaid the other day. She said it was on TV, and it was, you know, this princess who she fell in love with a prince, but at the expense of her voice. But at the end, you know, she was given back her voice. But she had been silenced, and it's true. It's heartbreaking. It was so sad to hear and listen.
That was a good analogy, but also because it was such a good analogy, it kind of made me not like it. It just seemed like such a media trained answer. I was like, I mean, although she's right, and it's probably a true moment that she had, like, I guess even if it's real, it's going to sound media training no matter what.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, that's like my hot take on it. I mean, I made a funny TikTok about it that I think everyone should look at. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching today. This was a really tea-filled tea drop. And next time, I promise we're going to do something DeVante's interested in. But until then, make sure you hit the sub, like, and bell button, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
All right. Bye, guys.